Hello everybody, welcome back for another video. Hope you're all doing well and that you are all having a great day to start things off. Bitcoin's price has slipped below $8,000 to hit a 35-day low. Just an hour after the May 23rd trading session began, data from CoinDesk's Bitcoin Price Index shows the price of the world's largest cryptocurrency started to fall, dropping to the lowest point since April 18th. After steadily climbing up to nearly $10,000 on May 6th, Bitcoin's price has been on a gradual decline since then towards a current low at 7,876, reflecting a 20% drop over the past 2 weeks. Here are the prices for everything that's kind of going on right now. I don't even know kind of what to say about the prices falling. You guys know how I feel, especially about when number one falls, how everything else falls. Besides all the news about the institutional investors and all this other big money that's supposed to come in, we've had this talk from a lot of analysts who keep saying and kept on saying that we would not hit 10,000, that the market is in fact, or rather the price of Bitcoin is in fact going back down to 6,500 because this is where their charts are showing. This is what they are seeing. And they say that once we hit 6,500, then the market will begin to go back up. There were a lot of people chatting or talking about the price going below 8,000 and how this was a very bearish indication of what's going on in the market. There has been no negative news. Nothing negative has come out about anything. So any type of, this is just how I feel, any type of analysis about the prices is if I can say this is kind of BS at this point, because we've heard so many times that the market was supposed to have exploded at this point. But the current thing that we're hearing now is that Bitcoin's price will continue to slip lower because for some reason there's no major support. No one's entering the market. And from what I've read or what I've seen or what I've heard around is that Bitcoin is supposed to hit 6,500 and then there will be some type of rally, as this is possibly as low as it can go. It's just kind of annoying, again, because there are a lot of projects that are launching very soon. EOS is launching very soon. Tron launches in about 8 days or something like that. So there seems to be, there's a bit of momentum when it comes to a couple of coins. They're trying to push themselves back up. But it's very difficult when everything is pegged to the price of BTC. Continuing on, PayPal is in the news today. The CFO of PayPal defended the case for fiat merchant settlements this Monday, telling mainstream media the company could nonetheless definitely support Bitcoin in the future. Speaking to CNBC in an edition of the network's Mad Money segment, John Rainey, PayPal's CFO, claimed that volatility was the reason PayPal did not see a lot of interest from merchants regarding cryptocurrency acceptance. He said because of the volatility of the cryptocurrencies, if you're a merchant and you have, let's say, a 10% margin on a product that you sell and you accept Bitcoin, for example, and the very next day it moves 15%, you're now underwater on that transaction. They've been talking about, or rather PayPal and Bitcoin have been in the news together for quite some time. There were rumors before that they planned on adding it. They were definitely going to add it. They planned on integrating it because one of the head people of PayPal, he constantly comes forward when he's talking about cryptocurrencies, and he always mentions that he does like Bitcoin. He sees the prospects of Bitcoin, kind of the idea that if you are, or rather if a merchant is accepting Bitcoin for a payment, then it goes down by 10-15%, whatever the case might be. I feel like that's kind of a stupid reason, because if you really wanted fiat, you would just cash out the exact same day. You wouldn't kind of do it the next day. I don't know exactly what's going on. I have a strong feeling eventually they will be adding some type of Bitcoin payment option, and this is probably going to happen when we have all these institutional investors finally coming into the market. So regulatory news for today. The U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission, the CFTC, has issued an advisory statement for listing virtual currencies derivative products. According to a CFTC press release published yesterday, May 21st, the advisory statement is aimed at providing clarity for exchanges and clearing houses. The staff advisory, which was jointly issued by the CFTC's Division of Market Oversight, the DMO, and Division of Clearing and Risk, the DCR, focuses on specific areas involved in listing virtual currency derivatives on a designated contract, market, or swap execution facility. It covers the necessity for more market surveillance, coordination with CFTC staff, larger trading, reporting, and DCO risk management and governance. Amir Zadai, the director of the DMO, said in a press release that the CFTC staff is committed to providing regulatory clarity as much as possible. He said CFTC staff will seek to provide additional guidance to help market participants keep pace with innovation while complying with CFTC regulations. So we don't usually hear from the CFTC that often. Everything is kind of focusing around the SEC. When we had first news about it, or rather even a couple of weeks ago, we had news that we wouldn't receive proper clarity on exactly what's happening with all these coins for anywhere from up to 9 to 48 months or something ridiculous like that. But it seems, at least on my end, after reading around and seeing all the things about regulations, that they're trying to figure out exactly where to place these things. Because if it is true, and there are tons of people who are lobbying for the major cryptocurrencies to either not be securities or to be commodities or to not be this, it seems that there's pressure on their side in order to kind of get something done. Because like I said, they know exactly what they're planning on doing with these coins. They may be a bit confused as to what they are still. But it's regulations aside, I wish there weren't as many regulations, but it's still nice to hear that they are moving along with the process, because if we didn't have any news from them for a couple of months and then the market kept on going up and then we had some type of news, we would just see these dramatic slams of price going back down because of fear. So as long as they're kind of in the news and they're kind of letting us know exactly what's going on, for the most part, I think everything should be okay. So this is actually kind of interesting. MIT is testing the Lightning Network, trying to make it a bit better. An MIT test is providing a rare glimpse of how Bitcoin might truly work at scale. Revealed to CoinDesk last week, the prestigious U.S. university has been quietly demoing an experimental use case for Bitcoin's Lightning Network, one that showcases how it might be combined with smart contracts to not only handle millions of transactions, but to do so with greater degree of complexity. Modeled within the school's digital currency initiative, started in 2015 as a way to further R&D on cryptocurrencies, the test envisions a system wherein transactions would take place automatically in the case of defined external events based on, say, today's weather or the current price of US dollars. This is due possible to MIT's creative use of so-called oracles, trusted entities meant to broadcast data to smart contracts. For this demo, researchers Tagda Dria and Alan S. Dragos, awesome last name, built a test oracle to broadcast the recent price of US dollars in Satoshis, the smallest units of Bitcoin, which anyone can grab and use for their smart contracts. If you happen to have the time, I know I always say this, I'm not sure how many people actually hear me when I say these things. If you have 10, 15 minutes, have nothing else to do, read the the Bitcoin Lightning Network white paper. Start reading the white papers. I know it can seem like a heavy task to have to do any type of extra reading, but in your spare time, it's good to know exactly what you have your money in or what things could actually be happening. And Bitcoin is very interesting because as it was the first currency and other coins have come after it, they've seen exactly what problems Bitcoin has. And this is why we have Ethereum. This is why we have this. This is why we have EOS. This is why we have Tron, because they all say or claim or actually are able to be a bit faster than Bitcoin. And one of Bitcoin's major problems is the fact that it's so, how do I say this? The way that the code was made was pretty much so that it's kind of fixed. This is why a lot of the changes that are being implemented or will be implemented on Bitcoin are kind of off-chain, or things that can be kind of attached to the network, if you will. Bitcoin has a lot of problems, but it's really good to see that the people are at least trying to work towards solving these. But so many of the solutions that we have for Bitcoin won't be fully rolled out for another 2 to 3 years in some cases, but it's interesting to see exactly what they're coming up with, especially when it comes to smart contracts and the Lightning Network, because at the end of it all, Bitcoin will have to do something. And this is kind of why I am still relatively bullish on other projects passing Bitcoin, because like I said, 2 to 3 years, especially in the crypto space, is a very long amount of time, but it's good to hear that they still have news about updates for Bitcoin still coming out. Next up, there's a TV show called Shark Tank. I think I maybe have seen a couple of episodes. We have it in Europe as well, depending on which country you're in. Everyone has their own version of Shark Tank. One of the people on Shark Tank, her name is Barbara Corcoran, an investor at ABC's Shark Tank, believes that Bitcoin will actually eventually destroy banks and like kind of be used more for real estate transactions. To her, she said, it makes great common sense, and this is the future of real estate. She said, I'm being very optimistic because as a long-term play, it's perfectly suited for real estate transactions, the great investor said in an interview with Money. Corcoran believes home selling will soon be linked more to cryptocurrency and that many houses will be purchased using Bitcoin as time goes on. She said Bitcoin is peer-to-peer with no central anything, and that's why it's so powerful. The main idea is to eliminate the middle guy. In the same line, she's hopeful that Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies will eliminate the need for banks. She said, I really don't expect banks to be around 10 years from now unless they change their model. I don't see why it's going to be needed if Bitcoin does what I believe it's going to do. This is the kind of, sorry for screaming into the mic, this is the kind of stuff that drives me crazy. Regardless of what the market is doing, this is why I said, I feel like, have you ever like had people like make a joke around you and like you just didn't get the punchline for some reason, everyone else is laughing and you kind of don't get it? No matter how much the prices of everything are going down, when things were down, when Bitcoin was almost, what was it, that $6,000 or something like that from 20,000, it was nonstop news from all these institutional investors, billionaires, millionaires, whatever you want to call them, talking about that they believe that Bitcoin is the future. When you see the price of cryptocurrencies going down as an average Joe, an everyday person, and you hear someone say, I don't expect banks to be around 10 years from now because of Bitcoin, that drives my mind absolutely insane. I don't know if it does the same for everyone else. Sorry that it just got really hype, like right there. But it's kind of weird to me to hear these things, that they're so optimistic and so sure that these things will completely dominate finance, that these things are definitely going to take over, that no one will be able to deal with the power of Bitcoin, especially John McAfee, all these other people talking about how powerful these cryptocurrencies will become. We've already seen a lot of not use cases, but people allowed to be to pay in cryptocurrency or in Bitcoin specifically. When it comes to real estate, there was something a couple of months ago, a month and a half, something like that, where this woman had her building in Dubai, and I think she sold every single flat that was inside of it for Bitcoin. So it's definitely happening. There's also a way to buy New York City real estate in Bitcoin as well. I would personally like if it was, we can buy it in a couple other coins, but it kind of is what it is as long as we can swap into Bitcoin. Things like this really get like the cogs going in my mind. I can't be the only one. It's like they can see something that we can't see. I mean, obviously the prices will eventually go back up at some point, even if Bitcoin should slam back down to $1. It won't stay at $1 forever. So prices will eventually go up at some point. But these things always stick out in my mind. Like, how can you be so sure? What do you know that we don't know? Why are you assuming that banks may not be around in 10 years and that real estate transactions will mostly be taking place with cryptocurrencies or Bitcoin? It's all kind of crazy. But then again, the crypto market, for what it is right now, is literally only 4 to 5 years old that we've had all these new coins in the space. And look at how far we've come. So I assume the next 10 years from now is going to be something that we can't even begin to imagine. Okay. Circle is in the news once again. Payment startup Circle has launched the full version of its crypto investment app. After a soft launch back in March of 2018, the company is making the app with its full suite of services available as of Tuesday, I believe that was yesterday. Circle first announced its innovator investor focused app back in November and later released in 46 states in the US as part of an early access availability phase. Of the features going live on Tuesday is the Buy the Market tool, which is geared towards new users, Circle's senior product manager Rachel Meyer told CoinDesk. Buy the Market is the accumulation of all we've been doing since the soft launch, he said, going on to explain. It's trying to solve the problem of signing up and trying to be a newbie investor and you're not sure how much to put in and where and why. Buy the Market is just a very easy way to invest in the 7 supported assets on Circle Invest. You choose the funds you'd like to invest and we do the rest. We automatically divide the investments into each specific coin, market weighting, and you can purchase the coin instantly. She said the focus is on the market. I don't think this is the same app that I'm thinking of. There was another app that I know a lot of people were using about a year or two ago to get into traditional finance. There was something, it was linked to your debit and or credit card. If you made a purchase of, let's say, 187 for something, 1187, it would round it up to 12, and then the extra change that was left over would then get invested into a fund or something like that. I don't think this is the same app, but it would be cool if they started something like that as well. Like the extra money that was left over that you just didn't need from purchase kind of went towards the, coins that you had decided that you wanted to invest in. Circle Invest will mark assets up by 1% when users buy or sell a particular cryptocurrency, but will not charge any fixed fees on top. This differs from existing trading platforms, which she said charge both a markup and trading fee. In recent weeks, Circle has added support for cryptocurrencies such as Monero and Zcash. Not exactly sure which ones they have. It's safe to assume they probably have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Bitcoin Cash, Zcash, Monero. I want to say they have XRP as well. I can't really remember, but I think they were one of the first companies out there to kind of diversify their coins more than Coinbase. In what I think is possibly one of the most significant pieces of news that we have today, at least in this video, the operator of the Boston Stock Exchange has announced a partnership with Overstock subsidiary tZERO to launch the world's first regulated security token exchange. I'm sure you can see where this is going. The joint venture unveiled on Tuesday will see tZERO and Boston Stock Exchange company BOX Digital Markets develop a regulated venue that facilitates the trading of blockchain tokens that are classified as securities under federal regulations. The platform, which is yet to be named, could provide companies with the ability to hold ICOs with less risk of running afoul of federal security laws. It could also pave the way for public firms to tokenize their company stock and issue shares on a blockchain. Lisa Fall, who is the CEO of BOX Digital and president of BOX Options Exchange, will head the operations of the new platform. She said, tZERO's track record and accomplishment in this innovative area, coupled with BOX's enterprise in operating a highly efficient and transparent equity options marketplace, made partnering together an easy decision, and we look forward to building a world-class platform for listing and trading security tokens. Sam Nursheli, who recently assumed the chief executive post at tZERO after Overstock's Patrick Byrne stepped back from the role, said the initiative is a significant milestone for the integration of blockchain markets into traditional finance. Our partnership with BOX Digital Markets is a significant milestone that will create the first SEC-regulated exchange designed to efficiently trade crypto securities. Lisa Fall's leadership, reputation, and deep experience in the regulated securities exchange industry will be a major asset in achieving this objective. I'm sure you can see why this is very significant. It is almost a given at this point that besides Bitcoin and possibly Ethereum and possibly one or two other coins, everything else would probably fall under the rule of the SEC and the USA, which means that a lot of people who are holding these coins are going to have a hard time when the hammer comes down. But if there is a major exchange, especially the Boston Stock Exchange, if they have come out saying that they plan on listings or helping to list security tokens, I'm sure they're going to have Bitcoin and Ethereum on it. This could potentially lead the way, because what I've been reading around before is that while normal people, I want to say. Fear. Security tokens. This is literally what a large number of institutional investors, that two words again, this is what they're looking for. They're looking for securities because they know how they're taxed. They know what they are. They're more familiar with what a security is, and they know exactly when it's tax time, exactly what has to be done. There's no real confusion as to what they're holding. So when I read this, I was like, okay, this is something significant, because we've seen other exchanges before. Coinbase, they said that they want to be able to hold, buy, sell, and trade securities, but to have an entire stock exchange is going to have a cryptocurrency exchange that is focused around securities is going to be very significant, because you have to get the dominoes falling in a certain direction. So when they do this, I'm sure we're going to have news within the next couple of weeks of other companies who are also planning on doing this. But I think this is probably the best heads up that we've had in a while, as far as when we get news that these other coins are to be listed as securities. This won't stop money from flowing into these coins, because other people will just be using the Boston Stock Exchange in order to get their hands on these security tokens. Whew. Okay. John McAfee is in the news. I don't know if he's just bored. He's in the news like every single day now. He's constantly making sure that he stays relevant. John McAfee believes the march of the cryptocurrency bulls is at hand. The renowned tech activist and internet security expert has added his voice to the growing crypto institutional investment narrative. This is all that's been going on. It's just big money. Everyone's talking about big money. In a tweet on Monday, McAfee urged traders to gear up for the next crypto price rally. He based his assertions on the influx of cash from institutional investors trooping into the market. He also said that with the money flowing into cryptocurrencies, prices of the top 10 coins will increase dramatically. I definitely believe that, without a doubt. McAfee also believes that other altcoins will experience growth as investors diversify their cryptocurrency trading portfolios. When challenged on Twitter as to the veracity of his claims, McAfee gave no basis for his declaration. Instead, the controversial crypto proponent told responders to use their heads, check recent news on institutional investors, and apply reason. Safe to say this is another one of McAfee's bold assertions, much like his famous 2017 prediction that Bitcoin will be $500,000 in the year 2020. I think even since then, it was 500,000, then it was $1 million. And a couple of days ago, he said it's going to be, I think, $5 million. I forgot what year he said, but I know it's something not far off. So that's gonna, I mean, he may know the woman from Shark Tank. They may be best friends, just writing this stuff down together. Where to even begin, I don't kind of know, but I've said this before as well. If you've paid attention to all my videos, the news that I've been reading, the things that I've said, it all kind of makes sense. At the moment with the market being down, it seems a bit, doesn't seem too nice. We can't really see the silver lining at the end of the rainbow, whatever you want to say, in order to see that prices will be going up. But the constant talk about it, there's nothing but news about institutional investors. There's nothing but news about companies gearing up for this money that's supposed to be coming in. If this money does not come into the market, I would be flabbergasted. And I mean that with 100% sincerity. How many times have we heard there's been at least 300 things in the news over the past 2 weeks of all these companies who are building these things specifically for institutional investors to make sure that it's as comfy for them as possible, that they have this, that people who banks talking about being able to hold and store cryptocurrencies, having cryptocurrency accounts, having this. There are a couple of other banks and institutions who were talking about what is it like? Oh yeah, if you have a large amount of cryptocurrency, if you have millions of dollars worth of Bitcoin and you don't feel safe with it being on your computer, you can have it in our cold storage. There was some other people, they just built a mine or something like that, some underground banking system, storage to hold cryptocurrencies. If no new money comes into the market in 2018, this will be the biggest and longest April Fools that we've ever had in our entire lives. Everyone keeps saying that money is going to be flowing into this market. I know it doesn't seem this way as of now. Like, prices will eventually go back up. I know it seems all doomy and gloomy, at least at the moment. But I feel like something big is coming, even if we can't really, if you want the truth, I would like if Bitcoin just fell down to 6,500 like right now, so we can kind of get the ball moving. But to be fair, in June, we still have SBI Exchange, which is tied to one of the largest banks in the world. They're launching their crypto exchange. I think the NASDAQ powered crypto exchange is also launching. We have EOS launching. We have Tron launching. I think there's like 3 other institutions who are going to be doing stuff. There's supposedly some news about Coinbase in the summertime. I think this is when they mentioned that they would be launching or adding ERC20 tokens. Who knows exactly what's going on anymore? It's just all very exciting. It's I don't know. All of it's just kind of, even with the prices going down, I'm still very hyped, and I don't know. I haven't even had sugar this morning. I don't even know where I'm getting all this energy from. All right, everyone. That's definitely going to do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys have a great day. Hope you got something from all this ridiculous, crazy news. The news is unstoppable at this moment. I don't know where all this news is constantly coming from, but it's great to hear that the market, even though it's going down, is still active. Thank you once again for all of the support. I do appreciate it, and I will talk to you all soon. See you.